He's on our team, I think he's awesome. Yeah, sure.
Gonna get started. How yummy is this lunch today?
So good.
So good. It's my favorite. Well, we can't do great things without great partners. We're gonna let our sponsor come up, and then Vince and Joseph are gonna take it away. So come on up, tell us who you are, and that's what we need to know about you.
I am Sherry with Coin Services. We're located in Goose Creek at Crofield Plantation. Carol Thompson is helping out. Need anything? Give you some goodies on the desk. Just feel free to give us a call if anything you need. We carry all types of flooring. If we don't have it, we can get it. Track it down, we can get it. One thing that kind of sets us aside from some of the other flooring vendors is we will go out and just, if you have a client that just needs a flooring repair, and even if it's not our flooring, we'll do repairs as well. So that's something that we can usually get, have a turnaround within a day or two. So we're a quick turnaround, something comes up and an unforeseen situation. A lot of times it's water damage or, moisture, something like that. We have quick turnaround. These are some products that we just brought, just so we had something to show and let you know that we do, custom rugs and we do custom, runners. This is a new product that was just brought into our showroom not too long ago. It's a jute product. So something like this would just be good on like a straight set of steps and just a runner. And then this is interesting. This is their newest and latest of their binding, which is actually, they use the sisal and they fold it. So your size binding would be half of that. So that's something I just wanted to, show you. If you're interested in that, there is a up-close picture. And then we have some of these carpets in stock. So if you had a house that just need a quick carpet turnaround, we stock some of the one. If you come up after and look at them, we've got a sticky and on this color is one we stock, and there's a check mark on this one. So we keep those in stock at all times. It's a quick turnaround, good price, really good competitive pricing on that. And then our treads, our LVP treads, I just wanted to bring this. This is the newest product, not the treads, but what they're doing on this particular company is they're selling this as a package, your tread and your wet riser together. So that's kind of the new product on the market now. We can still get them separately. But this is something that's available, and then of course all your treads, everything like that. So if you have any questions, feel free. But us in a nutshell, and we're located right in Crofield Plantation, right on the Industrial Parkway. Easy to get to. I have a mobile showroom, little red van. I don't know if you saw it out there, full of samples. So someone needs. I am an interior designer, so we do free interior design consultations as well. And enjoy your lunch. Thanks for seeing you.
And one minor, if you have customers got 50 bucks or something, and you can install, we can that too. What's up? Do you need an appointment to come
to the showroom? You do need an appointment. If you want me to come to the house, just give me a call. My card's in your little bag, and then I'll bring it in and the samples. But the showroom is we kind of share it with the new construction team, so it is a point of like because there might be somebody else in there.
Do you also have tile in there as well?
We do.
A lot of tile, correct?
Yep. Oh, where's
Oh, there's a tile. Where's it all?
got it.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure I knew, appointment.
And two tiles.
The showroom is really nice. Has a lot of different products in there. So y'all should make an appointment, go see them.
Yeah, and
That's fast there.
Yeah, this is actually a tile that our logo's on, but yes, we have tiles. Flooring, LVP, oh, that was another thing I wanted, we do sanding and refinishing. So we get a lot of that downtown in the old houses where they have the old pine, and a lot of people won't wanna get into it, because one thing leads to another, but we've done quite a few pine repairs, and we have some pine in stock actually, so.
Can you match, wood floor, like an existing wood floor? So. The foyer and office space had had wood floor, we bought the home. And the stair treads all are the same wood, and we need to do our living room floor, we can't find something.
Well, a lot of times it'll lead to having to, the best way to handle it is really sand down everything and then refinish it all at the same time, but I have a wood guy that is really good at the refinishing, and we'll do our best to match the stain. But the best approach is to sand everything and do it all at the same time, but not everything has to do that, because.
Well, mine also involve treads, stair treads.
Yeah, that's it, but we'll do our best. I have a stain chart, we'll do our best to try to get we can't guarantee like a 100% match, we'll do our best to get as close as possible. And then I always have my guy, do like a couple of samples before he does the whole floor, just so I can see. But it's tricky, just like matching anything, so we'll do our best to do that. But if you have treads that need refinished, we do that as well.
Okay, I'm not gonna use it.
I have a stupid question. What is the reference? How do you handle furniture in the house? Like, do you have the owner move it into like a pod?
No, we move the furniture, we charge like $1 a square foot, so if you have a 12 by 12 room, $150 square feet. I charge it by the room size, but we ask the customer that we don't move electronics, and the customer has all their personal items cleared. So when we come in,
So you do help with that, the actual
yeah,
furniture.
and they can do the pod if they want to, but we won't move it into a pod. Only because if it comes out of the pod and it's scratched, and there's question of who's scratched, whatever. But no, we just ask that the personal items, everything's cleared, like off the coffee tables and TVs out of the room, and we'll move just the furniture, move it out of the room. And if we do an LVP job, we can shuffle it back and forth in the room. It doesn't have to be totally cleared out. If you do carpet, it's got to be totally cleared out so we can get a good stretch. Good question.
Good question. A replacement of toilets to need like new toilets and tile.
Okay. We have a lot in stock too, which is nice. We've been able to, go in the back and find something that a customer needs in a hurry, so. We're like the emergency, the emergency department.
This is great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Come back for our stuff, we're gonna go out, and we'll come back, so we're not interrupting, we're have a great meeting, and, for your.
All your contact information.
Yeah, got a card in the packs, and yeah, and what we do, we'll come back and bring in that file, okay, that anything on. And then if anybody's here can see it, but we try to just like fun little tiles too, but definitely have time, we have a big selection. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another hand, thank you. All righty, let's get started. How is everybody? Thanks for being here. Got a great day planned. We're gonna go through some of the events that we have. We're always gonna start the same way with gratitude, fill it under people's buckets. We're gonna talk about the industry update. There's been some awesome and cool and interesting news recently with Compass acquiring Anywhere. So we'll have a cool conversation at the end about that. And Steve and I are going to talk about a concept that we saw around performance and some of the things that can get in the way of performance when we rate our performance. And the reason we're doing that is, number one, leadership is about changing the way that people think so they can get what they want faster. And the result of leadership is something happens that wouldn't have otherwise happened. Everything starts with the way that we think about things, right? So as we're moving into the end of the year, all of us are going to be, and I assume all of us are going to be looking at the last 12 months, really the last 8, 9 months, right? Evaluating our performance, right? How do we do that? So we're going to talk about a concept and an equation that we can think about, right? To identify maybe some of the things that impacted our performance. So that when we get into the business planning concept or into the business planning clinic in November, we know what to block for, right? Based on our performance over the last 12 months. So that'll be awesome. Before we get into that, where's Justin? Oh, down. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna talk about KW next year.
And not like. Right.
Where should I stand, Krista? Tell me.
Go left, go a little left.
I'm not-
No.
No. You're not singing happy birthday because we have limited time. So here we go. So who knows what KW Next Gen is? 3 of you, awesome. So this is good. So KW Next Gen, who knows what Quantum Leap is? 4 of you, good. This is very good. So Quantum Leap is a course that Gary Keller wrote years ago, and it's basically a life course. It's a course that he wrote about building a life by design, having a purpose, a mission, a vision, a values, and a belief system that you can then focus on. Has nothing to do with real estate. And then about 10 years ago, he created what's called KW Next Gen. And this was to target bringing Quantum Leap and that philosophy to young adults, not children, young adults. That is anyone under 30, right? This is not something, it's a big misconception of KW Next Gen is it's just designed for the youths that don't necessarily fit into the rooms that we go into. You like that?
In that movie.
This, my cousin Benny, perfect. All right, so what Next Gen does though is it funds scholarship and coaching for young adults who qualify for it. So to qualify for it, you go through Next Gen. Or you go through Quantum Leap, which we teach here in the Market Center, and then you can apply for 6 weeks of coaching with a professional coach. And then after that, you can apply up to $10,000 in scholarships. And those scholarships go from anywhere to college tuition, to family reunion, to mega camp, to other courses at KW, continuing education, personal development. So it applies to people that are actually in our organization. And I tell you that because all of that comes from fundraising. And so what has happened is each year, the largest day for fundraising for Next Gen is called Founders Day. This was originally based on Gary Keller's birthday. He's the founder, Founders Day. See? All right. So anyway, and that got pushed this year because it fell right in the middle of the floods in the Texas Hill Country. So they pivoted and said, we're not going to push for raising money for Founders Day during that when KW Cares raised money for the flooding. So they've postponed Founders Day. It was moved to September 18th, which was the big push for the fundraiser. And they've now extended that fundraiser until September 30th. So for those of you that are incredibly disappointed that you missed the opportunity to donate, you still have that opportunity. So if you click on this, does it bring it to the KW Charleston one? Yes. So if you click on this, click on it. Listen, I don't normally encourage phones. Go ahead. You can click on it. Even if you just want to get information. What I will tell you is KW Charleston right now is ranked 3rd in the country for fundraising for Founders Day. So I know, it's pretty good. Very, very proud. Equal sacrifice, not equal amount, right? This is whatever you can give right now is totally up to you. Any amount counts. We highly, highly encourage you to do this because this will be given back to agents that are in our community. This doesn't go to people that we don't see. This. Last part, if you do know of anyone or are someone who is in that under 30 category, not here anymore, all right, then you can please contact me so we can get you on the path to try and open that can of worms, to get coaching, to get a scholarship that you can use to improve your business or you personally as well. So this is a great organization. Super, super proud of our organization for fundraising for it. Any questions? Mike, anything you want to add? I'm not to put you on the spot. Mike's like the OG of KW Next Gen in Charleston, right?
The only thing I would add is just, I don't know where it is on my phone right now, but we had a person in our organization about, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. I taught awfully in the Mount Pleasant Market Center. Her son, like everybody else's child, did not want to be there. You can tell the first hour or 2 he didn't want to be there, but she sent me a note then, and she sent me a note again about 3 months ago. He was in college at the time, didn't want to be in college, was doing what she wanted him to do. He went home and said, I told him not to go back to college, which is not what I said. But long story short, he changed his focus in college. ended up getting some job that she thought he would never get. She was like, now he's out on his own, he's making like $80,000 a year. And he's doing really well, and she ended it with, and I owe it all to you. Now, having said that, she doesn't owe it all to me. I will simply read some stuff from a book and share some experiences. So, but it's stuff like that that comes out of class, I think, that we don't really want to hear, but sometimes we need to hear. So I just want to share that whole story about how it affected somebody in the work.
Yeah, so, awesome. You also have the opportunity, we'll send you more information on this. We do have the opportunity if you want to give what's called transactional giving for both KB Next Gen as well as KB Care, where you can just set it and forget it to give out of your closings. Again, it's the amount is not really, I mean, obviously the amount is important, right? But that transactional giving is where the majority of the funding comes from. So very, very grateful for that. Grateful for you guys. Thank you very much for the time. But, oh, sorry.
Next thing.
Okay, let's take the village. So here we are. What we have done is between now and the end of the Founders Day campaign, for every $10 that you donate, you'll get into a drawing. And we're giving away 2 VIP tickets to the Jeff Glover event. That is here in Charleston. And to clarify, Jeff Glover will be there. That was the big question that came up. It is actually a Jeff Glover event. And so you will get entered to a drawing to go to this event with a VIP, which includes a lot of cool stuff other than just event. I think there's a dinner or a meet and greet, something like that. It's all in the email that was sent out. So yes, we want to obviously award you guys for this. And yeah.
So who is Jeff Glover? I bet there are a lot of people here that don't.
You know what? That is a great question that I would love for anyone in the room who knows Jeff Glover very well to share. Jeff Glover, what I know about him is he's a mega agent in Michigan. He's built an entire giant business. Delisha, do you want to share at all, Jeff? Because I know that you go to a lot of his events and I know you'd love being put on the spot.
He was this Houston, he's in Michigan. I mean, bullet points right out of high school, got his real estate license and has sold 100 homes minimum each year since he was 18. And even if your goal is to sell 100 homes, he's just a wealth of information, knowledge, incredibly humble, and his kind of vision and his mission is to impact the lives of like 1 million agents. And so he's constantly giving back, and he's just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
It'll be a quality event. We've been to a handful of them. He is going to give you hands-on information to lead with on
In
how
action.
in action items to go take and build a list. He's very listing focused, which we need to be, right? Especially us as an organization, we have a huge opportunity there. So you're going to go, he is going to talk, he has a coaching program, he has all that. He is going to talk about that. It is not a sales pitch for that. He will actually give you information to lead. Yeah.
Archibald's working in my business, and he only does 3 things every single day. And he's done it since he was 18. He chants scripts, he memorizes, customizes and memorizes, and he literally chants stuff. He prospects every single day, and he goes on to see appointments, and that's it. He is still, even though he travels and pours into different parts of the country, he still hits the ground running with his agents when he is in town. He's still by himself, is hiring 100 sales. So he's the real deal. There's no fluff. He's in it and he's awesome.
It's extremely tactical,
Yeah.
right? He gives playbooks, scripts, the whole 9 yards. So if you're really wanting to focus on the listing side of your business, if you are, raise your hand if you want to focus on the listing side of your business. Please, everybody, raise your hands.
What is the number one thing that people buy that we help buy? A house. So what do they need to buy in order to buy a house? A listing, right? We all need to be focused on the listing side of the business. And whether or not, here's what happens a lot, is a lot of you are like, great, 100 homes a year is nice. I'm looking to get to 10. This will apply to you. The one thing I do love about what he does is he's implemented this system on a level that just says, here's where you start, hit the ground running. If you want to get to 100, wonderful. If not, stop when you get to 10. But you'll leave that with you. So, all right, anything else?
Probably.
Perfect.
So good.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna talk about a lot of great things, but we start the same way every time. We believe in creating an authentic environment built on the foundation of productivity and collaboration to inspire our people to achieve their business goals and design a legacy worth leaving. Which again, I said every time, I'm a big believer in numbers, right? The numbers tell a story. What story do numbers tell when I look at stories around or numbers around KW Charleston Market Centers? the story of the agents, the activities of the agents, right? The amount of money that they're making. When we look in our organization over the years, gross commission income over the last 5 years has grown by more than 100%, right? In West Ashley, it's grown, I think, specifically to West Ashley, because that started prior to us bringing Mount Pleasant in, by 192%, right? That's a wild, wild number in a 5-year period. That's gross commission income. That is the agent's money, right? That's what this is about. That's tangible evidence to, hey, whatever's going on in here, amongst all the problems that we have, something's working, right? To get that number up. So it's a really cool thing. With that said, let's talk more about flooring. Let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude, especially in this day and age, gratitude is an easy thing that when we fill somebody else's bucket or give somebody gratitude, maybe they weren't thinking about it, right? We tell them thanks for X. People live on that for weeks, right? So think about the last week or the last month since our last team meeting or whenever, right? Think about somebody that maybe has really helped you in your business. Maybe you had a win that you want to share. Now's the time to do it. Let's fill somebody's bucket. Give me one or two.
I want to fill Nancy's bucket for coming up with the like holiday charity stuff. So thank you, Nancy, for taking charge on that.
It's awesome. Right? Do we know?
Okay. Well, I think I was calling your question and, first one actually helping with this, because I have an idea, but I'm not really good at, you know, maintaining it and forward, and so they're kind of thinking about it, so I think it helps.
Do one more. Silence doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, we're still gonna get one from that too, but you go first.
Yes, all right. I want to thank Shenandoah for all of her help with the education committee this year, and also Mike for continuing to bring trainings in. Y'all will see there's a brand new pop-up that's coming out next week, and truly it means so much that y'all continue to pour into our agents and bring fantastic training.
That's really cool. Training calendar is everything from the market of the moment calls, which are really good in the morning, where we talk about the numbers, usually talk about how to increase listings, leads, right, and leverage. Those have been amazing. To the masterminds that we've been doing, to some of the listing training. I mean, it's over with the AI training, right, which was massively well attended. We've added a lot, very specific though, in certain tactical workshop type experiences where we can get into action and increase, take our activities from activity to productivity. That's the whole point of activity, right? Give me one more. I'm out there. I'll sit in silence till 1 o'clock.
Where's one? Right here.
Oh, Kylie, how are you?
I was gonna say, Holly, I do too. Talks about the AI training, and so I'm just proud of her for teaching her first class.
Thank you.
It was really AI, first AI. class.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said it was your first class.
Oh, I meant like AI.
Okay, but it's really good because you're able to slow things down and break things down for people and making sure that everybody kind of gets on the same page and offering people the opportunity to meet with you afterwards. And I think having that kind of training is really helpful, even for someone like myself who it was taking advantage of AI. I mean, I know I don't know everything and there's always more to learn, and it's just exciting because it helps us move our business forward.
Thank you.
And then I just wanted to also fill Jenna's bucket and Hunter, Javier, who I don't know if he's here, and a couple others who I reach out to on the regular for open house posts. I have a list of people that I reach out to, and they have been really helpful posting listings open, since that's not something I'm in the capacity to do right now.
It's awesome. It's good there. All right, what else we got?
Can I, it's not filling a bucket, but I got somebody under contract I've been working with for 4 years.
Yes.
Bucket.
That's a big way. Look up.
Piggyback on what? Nancy, I'm gonna fill her bucket. Nancy was contacted by a buyer who she now is going to be working with, who was not in a great situation with their current agent. We kind of got dramatic, and there's 14 sides to every story, but Nancy handled it very, very well, very professionally. I was very proud to be in business with her. She's managed a relationship with the other agent, the other broker, the broker with whom the original deal fell through, and now she's got a client for it. So, well, we're almost there. But I wanted to thank her for that. It was an awesome example. But thank you very much.
Say 73% of leads aren't ready to buy right now, right? That could be in 4 years, that could be tomorrow. The game is follow-up, and it's, what do they say, 95% of sales, not just in this industry or any industry, 95% of sales happen after the fifth contact. 5% of salespeople follow up and have a contact more than 5 times. So if I follow up more than 5 times and start to cultivate a relationship with somebody, what have I just done? Removed 95% of the competition. Really simple way to think about it, right? So way to go, Nancy. Let's give her another ring. I'm new here.
Ooh.
Who are the new faces? Who's a new face in the room, sir? Stand up if you're new.
Oh,
Let's give him a hand.
welcome to the family.
Red?
We're the workshop.
Awesome. Red.
I'm Jonah Taylor and we're working for myself.
Hi, I'm Marissa Adams, and I'll be for a while. Yesterday.
There you go.
I'm Paige and I'm almost done with my Keller Williams program that I got a scholarship for. My sister's also a realtor here. She's on the wall. Ronaya Robinson.
Okay, please.
Allison Schutzenbank, and I just finished my 90 hours.
Welcome to Clayton. All right, production. Read them and weep. Almost on the left, year-to-date on the right. Here's our teams, Charleston Diggs, Stans, Baxter, all crushing it. Let's give them a hand. See the notable group back there. Oh boy. What else we got? Individuals. All right, let's give them a hand. Serious production. Big congratulations. These will be on the slides. We'll continue to celebrate.
Nancy,
Nancy, you want to tell us about it?
do you want me to come up with emotional support?
I got it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh my goodness. Everyone who knows me knows I can talk a lot, because I'm just not good at group.
We're gonna work on.
So.
I'm great at, right?
So we now have a group called the Holiday Helpers. We will be launching, the first thing we will do is launching a charitable client outreach food drive starting October 1st. And this is really goal is going to be for Thanksgiving. It's a great opportunity to reach out to Sphere and farming areas. Holly and Kristen will get marketing and graphics, smart plans, playbooks with ideas.
Yes. So, I was talking with Holly and our whole group on what exact things, I know us agents are busy and it's just better to give you exactly what you need so you can go run the play, right? And so there are gonna be everything from the social media graphics to door hangers for you to use your open house opportunities as another reason to knock on some doors. Don't knock on doors, just hang it on the door, walk away, leave it, not only information about your open house, but also use your open house as a drop off opportunity for those canned goods and things. And so you can also do what's called a reverse pop by. So you can offer to pick up canned goods and that gets you in front of other people that you might not otherwise be in front of. Also think about other things that you can do. If you've got an open Saturday, you don't have an open house, you can park yourself in your community amenity center and say, hey, I'm going to be here for this number of hours. Just make sure you're advertising it ahead of time. So these marketing materials are going to be customizable for you, but they're going to have everything that you need. And so there's going to be a competition with this, right?
No.
I don't think, no competition, but we do have a goal. We want to get 5,000 pounds of food. And the last day, I think Nancy, you have it on your sheet, the last
17.
day is November 17th.
17.
We're gonna take it to Low Country Food Bank on November 20th. Our potluck team meeting is the 22nd, so we're gonna announce our numbers and our poundage at the potluck. So if you guys are out in your community gathering food, location, take it to the offices closest to you. That will be like the main centers. Because the Low Country Food Bank will pick up the boxes for us if we have more than 500 pounds in a box. So that'll be the goal, but we really, again, we're gonna make marketing material, playbook, smart plans, all the things, and scripts for you guys to use to just plug and play. Let's reach out to the community and give back. So we'll have
That's why we
all
wanted
kinds of-
Yeah, we wanted to start it really early, so you have multiple weekends, opportunities to host open houses and get it out there so that people see you as someone that cares about the community and you're not just that agent that cares about your numbers, that you actually care about people.
And then there's, we'll put some stuff in the back where the other things are, by the kitchen, that say what they're looking for and stuff like that. We're also gonna do future things, like we're looking for an angel tree situation, so if anybody, so we can give back to kids, like presents, something so we're just gonna try to keep this out through the holidays.
Yeah.
Through the year round, so that we can give back and help out the community, so we can.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And thank you, Nancy.
And then, yeah, sorry, surprise, there's no slide for this. I wanted to make sure to invite everyone. It's super last minute. I'm gonna be doing this more regularly, but some of you may or may not know that I also teach yoga. And so I teach a couple days a week just in a community space, but I'm looking to get out there more and bring my gift. And so I started teaching, I'm gonna do one Saturday a month at my church. And this particular month is because not only is September Yoga Awareness Month, it's also Hydrocephalus Awareness Month. And so my daughter is a Hydro warrior, and so I'm just doing it to help spread awareness about it. If you've never heard of hydrocephalus and you want to learn more, talk to me after. But this particular cause is going to go towards raising money for the Hydrocephalus Association. And also, we all need to move our bodies more. So please come. It's 100% donation based. And the invitation for the event to sign up or donate if you'd like will be in the recap email.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
One of the biggest things for all of this, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? These are two great, we're moving into the holiday season, right? This is a great time, right? To be thinking about the things that we can do for the community, maybe tie things to our business, like a food bank. To, again, kind of promote the idea that this is important to me. Who else is this important to? People don't buy what we do, they buy why we do it. So this is awesome stuff. Family reunion. You can walk up.
Well, I got the eye. So I'm Shannon Dola Deaver, for those of you that don't know me, and for a raise of hands, I'd like to see if you've been to family reunion before.
One time.
Okay, so next April, I want everyone in this room and be able to raise your hand and say you went to family reunion, because y'all, it is usually in Austin, Texas, hot as the mother, you know what, right? So this year it's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. You have an opportunity to get there by car, which is a lot cheaper than by plane. Even though the convention center in Atlanta is not the most convenient to hotels, there are lots of hotels around there. Atlanta's a lot of fun, but you can drive and go to the reunion. Why do you want to go to a reunion? It could be a number of different reasons, right? But I want to tell you real quick, you're going to meet so many different people across the country. And Mike Green, he is the master at what I'm getting ready to talk about. He has agents really across the world, to be honest with you, that he connects and does referrals with. And he goes to family reunion now, not necessarily to learn more, but to connect again with all those people, because referrals are a huge part of our business. It's fabulous to get mailbox money, and it's fabulous to send mailbox money. Family reunion can also be overwhelming for you newbies. I'm just going to tell you, you walk into a convention center with 45,000 other people, it feels like, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're like a fire hydrant. So what we're going to be doing between now and the time we all leave together to go to family reunion in Atlanta, Georgia this next year is preparing you with really hints, tips and tricks on how to go, not be overwhelmed, focus on what you need to bring back to build your business, and also some budgetary tips, because it can be lots of shiny objects and we want you to spend your money wisely. So please plan, if you haven't signed up, and I signed up this week, so I could say I am signed up, I am going. Really, really think about signing up, getting there. This is your opportunity to see what it's all about without flying across the country. So would love, love, love to see you. And you're gonna hear a lot more about it because I'm pushing this really big. This is your chance to go to family reunion or the easiest moment. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yes,
Events.
yes,
Where you find all events.
yes. And I don't know if y'all are watching, but like Command is really amping up. Like the
Mhm.
reports are coming into Command now. I am so excited about everything that's happening. And at family reunion, they always make announcements about the new stuff coming with our technology. So you want to be there. And if nothing else, y'all, you want to be in the same room with Gary Keller. There is nothing like hearing Back in Black start playing and see the man come out on stage and do his thing. Or they have all their little economic slides. You will learn so much, not just about selling houses, but about the market and what we do as a whole to affect all the people that we work with. So that's my thing on that. Is it time for me to plug the other thing?
Is this, oh,
Well, the other thing, what's this in jungles?
Sign up the bus that you're gonna
No.
ride. Bunch of us.
Yeah, like a.
You know, Joseph.
That's fun.
a party?
That would be kind of fun. Okay. Great. You're gonna hear a lot of this as we go, but please consider signing up. It is well worth your money to go. So awesome.
Right. Alright. I think.
Real quick, family reunion, like Shannon does, it's an awesome place, not only to learn, but. Right, you're gonna meet so many different agents. God, there's so many examples or stories of individuals changing their business from the referral network they created at Family Reunion. Right, so dive into it. The fact that it's only in Atlanta is a huge opportunity. With that said, we have a lot of great announcements in the finance space, and I'm gonna let.
All right, so as you know, last team meeting, we started with telling us a little bit about each department in our organization. We learned a lot from our agent services department. And today you're gonna learn about the finance department, which is my pride and joy, as well as make some fun announcements. So my name is Tiffany Davis. I'm the Director of Operations and Finance for KW Charleston. So I oversee all of the locations here, and I've been doing this for about 9.5 years now. I was an assistant MCA for 2 years. This guy made him into what he is today. So, and then worked in, and then moved over, and I'm now the MCA over all of it. And so what I want to say is I am very aware of, in the last 12 months, if you've experienced the challenges that I've also experienced in some of the finance spaces. I decided to grow my family, and that meant maternity leaves, and we tried some things, and some things failed and some things worked, and we grew. And so, yeah, just know I'm aware of it, and I want to apologize if that directly affected you, but I'm very excited for what I get to announce today, because Gina Markham is on our screen here. You'll see her up in the top corner. She's actually physically located in Charlotte, North Carolina. So she's there, but she's gonna wave. She's very much introvert, made me promise not to make her talk. Has been an MCA in the Charlotte, North Carolina area for 22 years. So like way more than me. So she comes with ample experience. She is open to Market Center. She's closed to Market Center. She's done everything in between. She brings a lot of experience to the team. And so her and I are gonna double down together and just take the finance world to the next level. We want it to be accurate. We want it to be fast. And we want it to be exactly like everybody's on board on like knowing exactly what's happening. So what that means, so Gina, do your wave, hi. Gina. So she will be now taking over, if you want to go to the next slide.
Yep.
She will now be taking over the finance at KW. This is just saying we have 30 years experience. You know what else? Okay, next. Gina's gonna be overseeing like the commissions, the billing, all of that stuff. So a lot of the things that directly affect you, making sure everything's accurate. So she will be the one now answering the finance at kwcharleston.com email. So if you haven't known who's been reporting to you before, so sorry, now you do. It's Gina, effective today. And so, and she's also available at Gina Hunt at kw.com. I'm going to be overseeing like budgeting, increasing profitability, profit share. You can always escalate anything to me. I will also be physically located here in Charleston, so you can walk in my office. I do take bribes, wine, chocolate, all the things. That's why I like, that's, all those things still apply. So that's kind of the who does what in this situation. So however, we do need some friendly reminders. And so because you're getting a lot of experience, you're also gonna get a little stickler for some compliance situations that we need to talk about. Commission requests. Commission requests are to be submitted within 48 hours of a ratified contract. That is not a me rule, that is the law. Joseph, is that the law?
It is the law.
Weird. Okay, so let's follow the law.
We get a lot of feedback and I love y'all dearly and you get very emotional around mine. I get even more emotional over lawsuits. And this correctly, it makes the lawsuits harder. And so when we're pushing back because we don't have documents, I can promise you, as much fun as we like make fun of, as much as we like make fun of technique, she's not happy when she can't pay you at all. She wants to pay you. We also understand that once we pay, we have no leverage. The law states that you have to turn your documents into us within 48 hours. That is a South Carolina LLR thing. That is not something that we just came up with to, see how much.
To see how much fun I could have in
On the last
emailing.
day.
Yeah.
So that, like, when we joke about it, the thing is, we have to have that. I mean, if we get audited, and you guys are running around with a bunch of ratified contracts that haven't been turned in, like that doesn't, that's just. Good law or not, it's the law. So that's why we do that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so definitely want to be looking at that. So if you have things under contract, please submit your paperwork, please submit your commission requests. You can edit your commission request between the 48 hours after ratified contract to closing. So you could still go in there, make changes, we understand. But we still want to make sure that commission tab is submitted and you'll see that approved upon closing. So we just want that in there. Before, we used to not be able to do edits, and so people would wait to see what the HUD state, like, if you're getting the HUD, it's a little bit past 48 hours after a ratified contract. If you weren't sure of the timeline on this. I'm not an agent though. Payment processing. We love paying you as fast as possible, like Joseph said, and I want to pay you the exact same day as you turn in the check. The only way I can do that though is if everything is in and compliant prior to 12 o'clock. So if you're turning in a check and the last thing you have to do is upload the HUD, we will get you paid and it will be in your bank account the next day as long as everything's compliant. That is our goal, that is our expectation, but we do need your help in making sure things are submitted as you go. If you show up and have everything submitted, when you turn in your check, I have to wait for compliance to check it. So you will not be paid by the next day. And so we kind of just have processes that we're following on there because once again, if we pay you, we don't have leverage to get the right documents. So that's what compliant means. Everything's approved by our compliance team. I am not the compliance team. So if you turn in the check and say, Tiffany, can you go and check all the things? That is not what I do. And so I can't do that for you. However, check drop off, we do allow wiring. You can wire directly into our bank accounts. It is an $18 wire fee that we are working to see if we can get that fixed, but for now, until it's not, it is $18. Or you can drop off checks at any of our locations. That includes Mount Pleasant, that's West Ashley. If you drop off in Somerville or Keyer Parkway, please make sure you follow the instructions. There are instructions above the scanner that you scan the check to the finance at Kid Charleston email prior to dropping it off in the box. We only check that box maybe twice a week. And so it could delay your payment if it is not submitted. Any questions on that so far? Great. Monthly billing. Here's another thing I get to do because I get the privilege of paying you. You guys get the privilege of paying me. And so every month we're receiving a monthly bill around the 9th or the 10th of the month. Typically, the bill is about $100 unless you have a desk or any other special circumstances. Those invoices you should see in your account by the 9th or 10th. If you're from the Mount Pleasant IOP office, it comes from this email, West Ashley, and the rest, it comes from that email. Invoices are paid and due on the 21st and the 22nd of the month. When you signed on, you selected how you wanted us to charge that, and we process that monthly. We are expecting, we know that sometimes things get a little tight, but we do need all of those paid at the latest by the end of the month. Failure to pay could result in your license being sent back to the state. And we really, really, really don't want to do that because we're a profit sharing company and we want to make sure that we are being able to pay the people that we have to via your bill. Because really what it is charged under, it's the KWR tech fee so that you have access to command and everything. Some of it goes to the local tech. And then most of it goes to your E&O insurance as well. have to be able to pay our E&O insurance. So we want to make sure you're aware of that. Quarterly MLS gets tacked on. Sorry, it's coming in October, so be aware of that. And then yearly, there's also the MLS entry lock and the profit share. So your invoices with this full breakdown comes to your email at the beginning of every month, due by the end of the month. If you have any questions, communication is key. Next slide. Couple things that are going to be changing with Gina. You're going to be seeing a lot more communication when she is going through the process of approving your commission all the way to close. And a lot of that will be done through the command system. So this is just a friendly reminder on turning on your notifications for those types of things. So if you click on the bell next to your picture, go to your settings of notification and go to your opportunities, you'll be able to change it. Now you'll get notifications in-app, mobile app, and you can get them pushed to your phone. So if that's something you'd like to be doing, to be able to see if there's anything in compliance or commission requests or any communication from us that's gotten returned, we want you to make sure you're checking your notifications for that. We will still be emailing as much as possible, but as we grow, and we love growing, going back and forth on email is just, it's extra. And so we want to be able to communicate with you as fast as and quickly as possible. So while we're in the opportunity, if we see something, we want to be able to shoot you guys a message and you guys know that that message is being received. The other thing that is changing, and that's going to go into effect in October, but you'll start seeing a little bit communication from us, is referrals. We love mailbox money, as Shenandoah talked about, and we have a big issue with not knowing who gets paid what referral checks that come in. And because other MCAs are not as great at their job as I am or Gina is. And so sometimes they just send us checks. That was a joke. That's totally a joke. They send us checks with no address, no agent name, no information. It comes from a title company where we can literally have to call the title company to get any information. And so we have no idea unless you've emailed us and we've gone back and forth 1,000 times because we're asking for more information or whatever that looks like. So what we are asking is we have now created a checklist for incoming referrals. You'll be able to see it on the listing side or the buyer side, whichever side you're on. There's an incoming referral checklist with 2 required documents, one being the referral agreement and one being the HUD or the MLS close sheet. So that we can get the full address and we can get the price point and make sure everything is accurate. You do not have to submit commission requests. You actually can't, please don't. However, we are going to require these documents. When you label your referral opportunity, we want it to be labeled referral, the address, and the client name, as much information as you can give us as possible. So that way, you don't have to email us back and forth and every day. Every day, it's still the mail. Because currently I would say we probably have about 6 or 7 checks that we've had sitting on our desk for 2 or 3 months. We have no idea. I know. I don't send out emails anymore because those are the jokes I get. Sean.
Why don't, there's no address, like to begin with, there's usually not really like that.
Client name would be great because they usually put the client name, but you can always change the opportunity as soon as you know the address. There always is an address that a referral can.
Whatever I do, I just tell them ahead of time. I mean, now we don't need to.
Yeah.
But I can just say, I have a check coming from this office. And it might have this address, it might have this name, but if you tell them how much it's gonna be, at least they can match up.
Yeah. If you have like a city, even if it's a city and state, the hard part is like, if we just get a check and there's like, we have to have an address to close it. So when we close it out in our system, we have to put an address in to like work at it. Cause like give me an example of a referral that wouldn't have an address. You just wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah, if you refer a buyer out to a different city.
Then I would put the buyer name on there. And then if you find the information, if you get the address, that's gonna be required, but we do need as much information at closes.
And it's effective October 1st.
Yeah,
So any referrals that we've already sent out prior to October 1st, we do not do.
if it hasn't closed, yes, do it. If possible, I mean, or we're gonna have it sitting on our desk. Like my thing is like, we have money sitting on our desk, but I have no idea who to pay. And moving forward, I can't pay it unless I know who to pay it to. So if the MCA hasn't done it, and I'm not saying go, if you've referred a client, go put something in. If you know that client has gone under contract, put that in. Because for 10 years, it's thousands of dollars that just sit on my desk. Just waiting to get paid to somebody.
Yeah, there's like 5 right now currently on Tiffany's desks that I've been like waiting to hear something for like,
Yeah.
yeah, 2-3 months.
Yeah, and the only way we find is if I get on the phone with the title company, the referral agent, they get the information, we reach out to you, it turns into a lot. So we want to get you guys paid as quickly as possible. So I think that I have one more slide, but final thing, we talked about transactional giving several times. We also talked about family reunion several times. And so we went away where you guys don't have to do any of the legwork to set up transactional giving. I can do that for you. And so if you want to commit today to giving even at $10 for every transaction that you're closing, you can scan this QR code, fill out the Google Sheet, and we will add it to your profile immediately. This will give you opportunity to give to KW Cares. This will give you, it's either KW Cares, KW Next Gen, as well as there's an opportunity. We have a local Agents Helping Agents fund that's not tax deductible, but at a local level, if you want to really care for the agents in our office, we have a lot of agents struggling with paying bills or whatever help we need. We have a fund that we work with the ALC to give back to. And so we love any contribution to that as well. If you want to use the next couple closings to collect some money for family reunion, you can also use it on here too as well. The Google Sheet has that on there. However, I would recommend getting your ticket as soon as possible because prices will be going up by the end of this month. But if you need some time to collect some and you're not a good saver, we can help you save as well. So that's all I got. Sorry, that's a lot.
All that. I'm really excited about, like, we don't talk about this enough, but when we think about the finance space, Tiffany's been in that space for almost 10 years, right, in the MCA space. She is one of a very few amount of people in the MCA Hall of Fame for some of the contributions she's made to the offices here in Charleston over the years. And Gina, 22 years of experience in the processing, agent billing, market center administrator space isn't something to put a nose up to because that space is very challenging, especially when you have more than 300 units a month and 455 agents, or rather 500 some agents in an ecosystem, right? That they have to build, they have to process. That's a lot of units, more than 3,000 units a year. That's a really cool thing. But over the last 12 months, we've gotten to find and solve a lot of challenges in that space to create effectiveness and efficiency, right? To do what we want to do, which is pay everybody very quickly. So these are some of the changes, and we're going to ask your help in the implementation of that in your business, like the referral piece so that people are getting paid faster. That's our intention. Our entire intention of all of these changes have everything to do with how do we get you paid faster, right? So let's give another huge hand.
We're gonna kind of fly through the next little bit just to keep us on track. Content crawl is tomorrow. If you have not signed up, we have a few more spots. We're super excited. This is our first one we're doing. Get your phones ready because there's a lot of QR codes on all of these. So content crawl tomorrow. Content crawl, great question. We're gonna go to a couple of our agents' listings. The goal here, like, to be completely honest, is to have a win-win for our agents that have listings in the office that would need promotion or would like promotion of that listing. And then also to give our agents that are not comfortable doing social media or getting in front of the camera, having a group setting where they can learn how to do this. So come join us. We're super excited about it. It's our first one, so learn with us.
We're gonna meet for coffee, we're gonna check out listings, we're gonna explore community and grab lunch afterwards, and you can take pictures, videos, whatever you wanna do, just come have fun, get some content, get social media stuff out there. Just enjoy the day, like have a fun day.
All right. And then, so we have a training alert that Mike just got on the calendar. It is next week, 12 to 1:30, Kristen Jungles. I will let y'all speak to her, but she's gonna be teaching Turn Your Passions into Profit. And we have a quick little video of hers. Yeah. Okay.
Hey everyone, it's Kristen Jungles in Naperville, Illinois. I'm super excited that I'm going to be down in Charleston on Tuesday, September 30th with all of you. We are going to be talking about 3 things that are super important as you look to finish the year strong and launch into 2026. First, we're going to talk about turning your passions into profit? How do you take the things that you do every single day and turn it into business? Second, we're going to talk about building that pipeline and how we go about looking for listings inventory. And finally, we're going to lay the groundwork for a business plan that is just going to propel you in 2026. Hope you can join us.
All I will say about this, y'all, is what you see on that screen is what you're gonna get. I have goosebumps. I love Kristen. She is just infectious with energy and just passion for what she does and sharing it with agents. Her story is amazing, and if you can be here, be here. It will be well worth your time, and you will walk out of here just pumped and ready to go, I promise. Mike can back me up on this.
October 8th, 1031 tax exchanges, with Bill Byrd. So we have that coming up. All of these will be in the recap as well. Launch week coming up in October. Mega Agent Summit is up in Cherokee. I know Joseph and Lynn are already signed up. And we also have Winnie teaching, which is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And I know Jeremy Wilson with Chucktown is on a panel as well. But this is a great additional way to network with people in the Carolinas. And they have a VIP event the night of October 5th as well.
Again, when he's on the sheet right now with J Pat designer.
Right, Jason, David, like, oh my gosh.
Awesome. Ignite coming up in October. Go ahead. Q3 market recap. This is going to be October 30th. If y'all have not been to one of these, please attend. We have great turnout for this because it just fuels you ready to go take more listings or have conversations with your buyers around the market stats. Joseph, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so a couple quick things. 42% of homes right now in the month of August were reduced in price nationwide. Like price reductions have to happen. Properly pricing has to happen prior to that though. So this is what really helps you with that. We currently have about 123 million in volume that's overpriced right now as an organization. And why I say that is because those are all the listings that are sitting over 10 days on the market. And some of you are thinking, 10 days doesn't seem long. However, what this has told us, and it's probably going to trend in Q3, is that when they're priced properly, you're still getting a contract in less than 10 days.
At 100% list.
100% of list price. So just as a little side note, 120 million in volume is about 3 million in GCI that we already have in inventory. We just have to have a conversation with the sellers to get them priced correctly. And so this is huge. Even if you don't have any listings now, this will prepare you better than anything else once you get the listing as far as how to get it priced correctly.
And we don't just in this market recap, we don't just give you the numbers. We also talk about different ways to have these conversations with our sellers, right? So that we can set the standards and expectations prior to the listing agreement being signed, right? And when that statistic, the other side of that is that when a listing does have a reduction, the average days on market goes from 7, right? Which we just talked 7 to 10 to almost more than 7. That's a big deal. That's 3 more mortgage payments, right? That's a lot of holding costs. So we talk about all those things, make sure to attend on October 30th.
Can I add to that? So if you're interviewing for a listing too, I highly recommend when you're talking about pricing your listing, that you have certain slides like saved wherever you can pull them up, because you wanna, like, people might still think that even if you're saying this is the market, unless they see it, but like actual numbers, it's still your opinion. So if you use it and say, look, this is exactly what we can anticipate for your concessions, you can see that's why we use that number for this price point in your seller net estimate. I'm not making these numbers up. This is all coming exactly from the data that we have from the greater Charleston area. You know, and also I do a like ugly scenario, and now I'm using my ugly as if we don't get it right, this is what we might be looking at, because we also have that, what is it, that like penalty, like negotiation penalty of like an additional 1%. So, you know, adding that in and telling this is what we could be looking at if we don't price right to begin with. And that number is a lot more alarming, and you can back it up because you have the slides to point out. It's not just you scare tacking them into pricing right. It's being like, look, I care about you.
this is what's important for you. If you want to be on the market for 200 days, by all means, hire someone else.
That's right. Yeah, collateral material absolutely helps create efficiency and effectiveness in our buyer and seller system, right?
And it
So
might help you win a listing.
That's right.
Because you're coming
100%.
from education.
Yeah, so show up. That's for sure. Thank you.
So can you invite, other agents to this? Like, would
Yes.
outside agents?
Yeah, we're gonna open this one up, because the location does allow a little bit more room on this one. So yes, we're not gonna do like a blanket invite to the board. This would be something where we want more personal advice.
Yeah. And get your tickets now. It helps us anticipate. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. 2026 Business Planning Clinic, November 5th. We're gonna be at the Cooper River Room for that as well. Anything you wanna add?
This is some broken down, it's not just me, I'm gonna choose the bulk of it going in there, but Vincent Lanier gonna help with this as well, when he's gonna be talking a lot about the budget model and a way that will put you to sleep, which is super important. Be coming in with the organizational model the same way, right? And now the question is, if it's applied to new agents or teams, yes, 100% does. We will talk to you whether or not you're an agent on a team, a rainmaker, or an individual agent, this will apply to you. We condensed it, we're reorganizing, it's more of a workshop now, than just a lecture, like take all this and then good luck. Right, we're gonna have it, when you leave, you'll have your plan, that you can then sit down with either a team leader, Delicia, or whomever you're coaching with, and
We do also have a follow-up to this plan for November 10th, which is the Monday after with Winnie, and it's how to P&L like in an REA. So mark your calendars for that.
Oh, and there's gonna be a happy hour after this, guys. It'll be super fun.
All right, nice. Thanksgiving potluck, November 20th. I know we talked about this earlier. This is gonna be at Alhambra Hall. This is just a link to sign up for what you want to make. We love this every year. Excellent. And then our second annual Oystros, this is live. It's gonna be at Magnolia Plantation and Gardens with a band again. It's gonna be super fun. Please sign up. We're super excited about it.
Awesome. Right. A lot of great events coming up. A lot of great events coming up, and so make sure you sign up. But all of that information will be in the recap. We're gonna skip this. You'll see a video from me later on this concept. Real quick, go back. Performance equals potential minus interference. Think about the things that have gotten in your way so that we can get into our little recap about Compass. But there are 5 F's of this: interference, fatigue, fear, finance, focus, and failure, and I'm sure you all have it. So we'll do a quick video on this, and we'll get that out. But without further ado, we want to take 5 minutes. So if you guys could just hang with us, I know you've got to run for sure with your 122 wisdoms. But finally, so now but there was some crazy news 2 days ago around Compass acquiring Anywhere, right?
You may hear that, you may not hear that, you may not know what we're talking about.
Cool. Yeah, perfect. So Compass, little tech company that's also a real estate company.
What he's saying is Compass, in case you can't understand, I don't know.
Compass. Such a simplifier. So Compass acquired a company called Anywhere. Anywhere is basically a conglomerate of about 6 or 7 different brands. Those brands are brands like Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Better Homes and Gardens, Forkrin, Sotheby's. I'm missing one. ERA, there it is. ERA, and there's one other. And now Compass, right? So what's really interesting about this, and we're just going to have a kind of conversation between the 3 of us and ask any questions, or we'll kind of mastermind on this. But we were asking ourselves, like, what is the impact to the agent? From a broker's perspective, okay, sounds good, right? There are some pros and cons to everything that's going on, right? But we know now that Compass is going to be leading this charge. We also know some things about the structure of Compass that could lead to this working or not working, right? And this idea of, when you think about all 8 of those companies, every one of them is very different with a very different value proposition that doesn't scale to the other, So it'll be really interesting to see if this deal actually gets completed, right? But we wanted to have a conversation about how this impacts the agent too. You guys wanna add anything to that too?
I mean, yeah, so in a nutshell, basically, they bought the company, right? And they were saying that it probably won't close until Q3 of next year. So you've got two things you can do with this. You can be like, meh, I don't have anything to worry about till Q3 of next year, which may be the case. The challenge is the news that's coming out around it is going to cause the consumer to have questions. And that's what we wanted to cover in this is what could it potentially mean? We'll spend a little bit of time on that, but we also don't want to pontificate on the unknown. And we want to know there are some big philosophical beliefs with Compass that are going to create some conversation in the industry, which is why I think it's important to have this discussion. So do you want to add anything to that or jump?
Yeah, no, I'll just say continue business as usual, right? Like they are coming together because they understand that we are already a big force, right? Like at the end of the day, so that's truly what it is. They're trying to make their own play, and gain more market share. But in our ecosystem, we know that we have the same foundational beliefs that we continue to do every single day, right? And so we need to make sure that we're continuing to do that. But also understand in the marketing that the agents around what they are now going through, because there's a lot of uncertainty with them and their businesses too, right? And you have to be on the other side of them in that transaction. Give grace a little bit, right? But then also just make sure that we're staying compliant, doing the right things, and making sure that we also encourage those other agents to find their place into our ecosystem at some point, because we do have that stability and that foundation has been here since 1983. So sorry about that.
Yeah, the big thing that's going to come out is Compass has there's no secret if you follow real estate news. Compass and Zillow don't get along. Zillow don't get along. So that's going to be interesting to watch that kind of battle out. But I think where it's going to affect us is Compass has a very strong feeling on the exclusive listing platform. Their CEO is very vocal. He's very against clear cooperation with NAR. Some could argue very against NAR. But what that means is he thinks that there should be a platform where we go back in time. And I'm not going to mince words on this. I've got a strong opinion on his philosophy. I think it's very, very flawed, very, very dated, and very, very antiquated for the real estate industry. And I will argue that actually pretty strongly. But that all being said, that what his philosophy is that we go back to where every brokerage has their own listing, right? We are the only ones that has the information for listings. We have our own platform where everybody go to, basically exclusive list or not exclusive brokerages, like Kiawah Island does. And now here's the deal. There is room for it. No, that we can't argue that there is room for it. I don't think it's an overwhelming need by the seller, because you can't really tell me if you lined up the 4 million homes that sold last year, that all of those sellers were like, man, if I'd had the option to only have limited people see my house, I would have chosen that option. No seller's going to say that.
Or that I would have made more money.
Or that I would have made more money, right? So I think that whole argument is flawed. That being said, sellers are going to wonder what this means. So we just have to make sure that we keep our sellers educated to say, listen, if you do want to be a brokerage exclusive, our MLS has been very progressive on that. We have the option for it. You can do an ML or a listing that does not go in the MLS. We have rules for it. You guys all know what they are. If not, we can set up time to talk about it. But we have that option. It's just about making sure the consumer knows that. And the reason that this is going to be a big deal is you now have potentially 25 to 30% of the market who may start thinking that way with this acquisition and with this merger of all the companies. Now, don't misunderstand me. I don't think automatically the Century 21, Coldwell Banker, all the other ones are automatically thinking, yes, we're only going to take, exclusive brokerage listings. Nobody's saying that, but I do think the consumer will have questions about it and what.
If their ecosystem that is not set up to, or that is currently set up to support conglomerates can scale in that way, right? So there are going to be Coldwell or Century 21 or other agent bases that join those particular companies based on a value proposition that may not be any longer, right? That don't want to participate in the value proposition of Compass, which again, they've gone so far as to bring back the MLS books from like way back in the day in their offices, which is where all of their listings were. I think they've scrapped that idea, but it came out a couple of months ago. Remember that?
I mean, conceptually, that's what he wants to do. He wants to say, if our company has a listing, you have to go through our agents to get the listing. how this would play out. It's not, it's not.
Very
Yeah,
challenging.
but now, understand, this is where we don't want to get too convoluted and understand that the message that you just need to be able to talk to the consumer about why their best choice is choice. Right, and to be able to, for everyone to see it, because how this could play out is like when you go search for a car right now, you're literally pulling up a map and you're going down Savannah Highway and you're going to each dealership's website. Right, that's how this, this is the fear side of it is to get there. I don't see it getting there, but just know that that's the reason. Now, to your question, why is this even in their mindset? You have companies that are answering to stockholders, not consumers. Right, and what happens for the company when that happens is you have a better opportunity to double-sided deal, which does drive to your bottom line. So there's a whole philosophical discussion around it that, again, we have to have because the consumer's hearing it. But we don't need to get bogged down into the why as much over here, as much as like why over here. We need to tell the consumer what that means when they bring it up. That is where I think we can go in and say, by the way, this closes at best Q3 of 2026. And so many things can happen between now and then, including but not limited to, it not happening at all.
The DOJ will 100% get involved in this particular acquisition. Right? This is an antitrust conversation, 100%. So to me, it's 50-50 on whether it closes. Now, I think there can be benefits to it, and that could be good. I think there are not as well, right? It would be really interesting to see all of these pieces come together. I just like the disruption.
I love the disruption, and I want to make sure we highlight Steven's point. The purpose of this is an information discussion. I have grace for the other companies. By no means are we saying that all of a sudden every Coldwell Banker, Century 21, and Compass agent here in Charleston now want exclusive listings. That is not at all what's happening, right? There's a disruption with that company. Sure, let's talk about that. But this is just us talking as a family here, not going out being like calling your favorite Compass agent and be like, gosh, I hear your company's going up. That's not what's happening, right? So don't do that.
Well, and think of it from the standpoint of mature industries. This is what happens, right? I was actually talking to Jen about this earlier, but about, let's call it 8 years ago, you saw a tremendous amount of disruption in our industry. Tech companies coming in saying this product's going to change X, Y, and Z in the way in which real estate is done. You've got Zillow and the onset of Zillow, and then Bedford. Now you've got Flex and all these things, right? There was a lot of disruption in our industry, which was really much of it quite positive for both the consumer and therefore those agents that adapted to the change for the agent. However, what typically ends up happening is eventually a mature industry becomes very difficult to disrupt. And the only way to disrupt it is scale. And the only way to get scale becomes consolidation and mergers. You're seeing this the last 24 months. Mergers and acquisitions have been prevalent, extremely prevalent, typically around trying to close an ecosystem like Zillow or Rocket Mortgage, right? All things that we should just notice, right? And just understand at a very base level. My point in this is you're going to see more consolidation because the industry is much more mature than say what it was. And there's not a lot of other ways to disrupt outside of economies of scale, shared expense, things of that nature in an industry that is wrought with competition and commission compression, right? So this isn't a thing to see that, just to say you're probably going to see more of this. Right, we're already seeing it with independent brokerages. If you were to go even more micro, independent brokerages, 30-some% of them aren't profitable. And those that are, I think it's 36%. And that was last year's number. I bet it's higher this year, right? And the average margin of those that are is less than 8%. Right. So you're seeing a lot of consolidation in this industry right now. We'll probably see it for another 2-3 years as the market starts to change. This isn't a bad thing or a good thing. This is something to be aware of and say, okay, how do I adapt and then disrupt in a micro way? Right. Understanding what their value proposition is. If their value proposition goes to private listings, well, you still have a massive ecosystem, right, with a lot of listings that you could probably sell against that particular value proposition, honestly, right? So think of it that way. Anything else to add before we close up?
I would say lastly, just like we think about in our businesses, focus on what you can control. We can't control any of that noise, that market, those are external factors. What you can control is what you do on a daily basis, right? So just stay head down, focused on your business, and we'll all get through this. So
Yeah, 100%. Go sell more houses, right? I mean, that's like, focus on your goal, do the activities to hit your goal.
Well, and this is an opportunity for y'all to build relationship, like you said it right. Have grace with that co-agent. If they are going to feel what's going on, have grace around it, but then also build a relationship, because whatever happens in the next year, if you keep projecting the stability that our company has maintained and will maintain, it could attract more people looking for a new home, because those philosophies may not align and they need somewhere to go. So don't be short-sighted with the irritation of stupidity that often happens of co-agents. Think about, how do I build a relationship, and then they have somewhere to come when and if this does not align with their long-term career plans. So that was a good point that we made. It's also a good listing. I mean, if you were going for a listing and this group, I mean, that's a lot of what we tell people, that you want to open it up to a whole bunch of people. So the agents are the ones who sell the property. So if somebody says, oh, well, I'm gonna go with that, and they only keep it in the house, they're kind of limiting themselves. If they want to get the most amount of money, they want to put on the market and have the most amount of people looking at it and marketing it. So.
100% agree with that. And I want to be very clear, nobody has said they are doing.
No, I'm just
So,
saying.
yeah, okay, so our,
They say they want to keep it in the house.
yeah, our value prop is the exposure we give to our listings, 100%. Yep.
And across the board, exposure equals higher than it has to, right? The right exposure, right? So a way to think about it. Anything else to add?
no, but just like Lynn said, and we are, just remember, we are a profit sharing company, right? So the more agents that you bring in, the more your bottom line increases as well.
Conversation with a friend, who's at 721, and we were talking about a mutual friend we have who had an in-house listing, and she emailed and texted some of her friends, off one of them, and I showed it, and I didn't have an opportunity, and the seller had sold in that. And it did, and we were just discussing how that's not good for the seller. Our job is to work with the seller and to get them the most amount of money. And if she had listed it, she would have gotten more money. And so she was said this one, so that's, if that does happen down the road, she might say, this is to me unethical. It's not what we're supposed to be doing it. So you might very well be.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, like I've done, like in college, I did quite a few like studies on different size companies, what made them successful or not. It always seems that like companies that tend to focus on the shareholder instead of the customer tend to go down the wrong hole. That's just what it seems like to me. So it's like a really good opportunity for people to join us and not have to deal with that, those restrictions necessarily. So we're interested to see what happens. But I didn't even know about this, so it's pretty cool to learn about. Curious about
I mean,
going forward.
It will be interesting to see what happens, because it is 25-30% of the market. There was a company locally that didn't do this, but did something similar where they had a huge incentive program to sell in-house listings, because if you double side, it would just be more. And it did not go well because the consumer immediate was like, well, Laura, I appreciate you're a large company. That still means nobody's ever going to be the largest. Nobody's ever going to be more than 20-30%. So it's like, that still means that's 70 to 80% that don't see, right? And you want that to happen. So at the end of the day, the consumer will win. And one of the things, just not again I know we're kind of relating, but I think like the consumer will win, and make no mistake about it. Your opinion of Zillow aside, Zillow is nailing consumer experience, and the consumer will be loyal to Zillow for that. And if Zillow gets dragged into this fight, grab your popcorn, because that's
Agent they will fight for consumer transparency and information transparency. Rich Barton has run 3 companies all around transparent information transparency. He grew Glassdoor, grew Expedia, right? And Zillow. So when you he built 100%. The one company I know that did that, they got sued. They got their hands sued all. It was a mess. They're not around. The one that I know of.
what I was talking about, but yeah.
Probably not the one you talk about, but it's happened a couple of times in different states. However, it's just all things to think about. The last thing I'll say about the agent piece, if you do want to grow your downline and you want to grow your profit share tree, right? The biggest reason that agents get into the business, we've done thousands of recruiting appointments at this point, is autonomy. And autonomy, autonomy to make business decisions. Nobody in the executive office of Compass or in the executive offices of Berkshire Hathaway or just anywhere in general called the agents and asked about it. They were acquired. And now there's a lot of questions around how much their costs will be associated with them, and is the value proposition still the same? So it could be, if you want to grow your downline, it's a great opportunity if you have friends in the industry, which I hope you all do because you've done a bunch of deals, right? You have a great reputation. If you have friends that are contemplating a change or are just want to have business conversation, connect them to me, to Joseph, to Stephen, right? And we can have to Kylie, right? Connect them to anybody. And because it could be a good, 100%. Right, so we're looking at.
Great reason to go to family reunion with Scary Fellow will talk about it.
For sure. Yeah.
I wish that they announced it before we were there. Wait, that would have been a fun discussion.
So, sorry we ran over, humbled to be in business with all yous.
Great, man.
Need anything?
Yeah.
Great.
Call. Thank you very much.
Chairman,